Hello and welcome to another podcast. I am back home after 2 weeks in Norway and it's New Year's Day today, so Happy New Year. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. I thought I'd film a quick podcast before it gets too dark to do it. It is by 4:30 and it's already going dark outside. It's been really dull and dreary and dark today. Not very good. But I tried to put the main light in here, but it just made it too bright, so I switched it off, put my filming lights on, and put my diffuser on. The diffuser is not actually on, I've just put the light on, just to lighten up the background a little bit. So we'll see if we can do this. I just want to share what I was knitting for the last week in Norway, a week and a half. My last two videos on my YouTube channel were both Game of Wool videos. I'll talk a little bit about those, talk about some stuff I got in Norway that I haven't shown you, what I've been knitting for the last week. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I reopened my online shop now. I'd actually planned to do a special offer over Christmas, which I forgot about because I didn't get around to actually sending out a newsletter while I was in Norway. So I'm going to send one out for when this video goes live. And I've decided I'm going to do a special offer. It wasn't a special offer I'd planned to do over Christmas because I planned to do one while I was in Norway and I never got around to it. So I'm going to decide instead to get the start a year with a bang, to have 15% off my website. So everything on my website, which includes my books, Easy Lace Knits and Be the Lace Knitting, all my yarn, accessories, beads, everything is 15% off. I'm not sure what date it'll be till, but I will put everything on the screen. I haven't decided on the code yet, or when I'll finish the discount. I'll pop everything on the screen and also in the details below. So if you're interested in that, do go and check it out. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website yarnaddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So as I said, I'm back home, raring to go, kinda. We flew home just before midnight on the 30th. So we landed about 20 to midnight, I think, at Stansted, north of London. And then we collected our car and drove home overnight. So we got home about 7:30 yesterday morning, had breakfast, went to bed for a few hours, tried to stay awake for as long as I could yesterday on New Year's Eve. Went to bed about 8:30, I think, and woke up at 7:30 this morning. But we've had a very quiet day at home. Watched a New Year's concert, knitting with the dog on my lap for two and a half hours, I think it went on for. And then went grocery shopping, popped in to see some friends, and now I thought I'd quickly film this podcast so I can put it up on my YouTube channel tomorrow as normal. So I'm going to share with you what I got for Christmas, because I did say in my last video from Norway that I did buy something in Oslo, but I couldn't tell you what it was. Some progress on my knitting, a new project I cast on the last day in Norway, and a few other things. My last two videos on my YouTube channel was both Game of Wool. So the last one was Tuesday this week, where I talked about my overall view of Game of Wool. I can't remember exactly what I said in it now because I recorded it in Norway, but my overall view of the series, what I thought about it, did it meet my expectations, what I think they need to change for series 2, if there is a series 2. Let me know if you've heard anything about series 2, because I haven't heard any talk about it, which I'm a bit surprised about. And then last week on Friday, there was a video about the last episode of Game of Wool. So I did a separate video on that, so 2 Game of Wool videos. And seen some people elsewhere on social media complaining about loads of YouTubers doing videos talking about Game of Wool. And to be quite honest, it is because it has got tremendous viewing numbers. So that obviously a lot of people are interested. So let me know if you watched my Game of Wool videos or not, or if that's not the kind of content that interests you. But my first Game of Wool video that I recorded after episode 1 has been probably my most popular video on my channel ever, I think. I did look at this the other day. I think it's ever. And my 3 most popular videos, both November and December, were all Game of Wool videos. Plus, I've had quite a few new subscribers as well since I started talking about Game of Wool. And even now, like my last Game of Wool videos got several hundred more views than my regular video, than one of my other videos from Norway, for example. So they are still quite popular. Today, I'm going to intersperse this video with some stuff we did in Norway. Some video clips from different things we've done. We did go to a town called Fredrikstad, which is south of where my parents live. We go to the old city or old town in Fredrikstad. I've never actually been to the new town, the main. So the old town is one side of the river and then the new town is the other side of the river. But the old town is an old fortified town. It's really, really pretty. Old wooden houses. There's loads of cute shops, coffee shops. We went, when did we go? Saturday? Week ago? I can't remember. Or was it Monday? No, it was Monday. Because I wanted to go on a day when the shops would be open, because there is a really nice yarn shop there, which I was hoping would be open. When we got there about 11, I think, 10:30, 11, and it was really quiet. There was just nobody in the street, and somebody commented on one of the pictures I posted on my Instagram stories. Somebody's been to Fredrikstad, and they said, there's nobody around. Was it empty? And I was like, yes, it was very quiet. It got busier in the afternoon. The coffee shop we went into was packed. The yarn shop had one customer in there paying when I got in. It's a really pretty yarn shop. They don't have a huge selection, but they do some very nice yarn. They sell knitting for Olive, Isagid, which is not a Danish brand. They have their own brand. They have a brand called Sticky Feber, which is also a yarn shop in Oslo. And a few other things, Filkalana, and a few other things. But they don't have a ton of yarn, but they do have some really nice stuff, including loads of hand-dyed mohair. Mohair is incredibly popular in Norway. But I did buy something there, so kind of starting back to front now, really. But first, I'll show you my Christmas present, which I got in Stikkadilla in Oslo City in Oslo. I said in my last video from Norway that I'd bought something there, but I couldn't show you because it was a Christmas present. And my new project is in it, so I'll show you this first. So I got this bag. It's project number 3 from Redesigned. Redesigned is a Danish brand. They do beautiful leather project bags and needle bags and things like that, needle cases. But they also do regular handbags. Anyway, I saw this in Oslo and I really fancied it. So I didn't get it straight away. We looked around some other yarn shops and then I went back and got it because it's right next to the central train station. So we popped back in on the way back to the car. Danish brand, as I said, is sold in loads of fancy yarn shops around Europe. I was hoping it would have like a holster so I could put like a crossbody strap on it, but it doesn't. It just has like a sort of wrist strap here, so you can carry it as a clutch. I would use this as a handbag if I could. I'm thinking about it. I can get some like holes and metal things put in there so I could use it as a handbag, but I don't know. But I really, really like it. It's got 4 pockets inside, 4 slip pockets where you can put your accessories and things. I've kept the label so that I would know which project it is, and it is, yes, it's project 3. That's what it says on it. It's attached itself. On the outside, on the zip pull, it had this attached to it, which for some reason my label has attached itself to that. And I guess this is, I'm assuming it's to put a tape measure in. It was on the zip pull and it was annoying me, so Simon took it off for me because I'm not going to use that. My tape measures are all the ones that you just, I don't know if I got one here. Yeah, they're all this kind of type where you pull it out and then you just press it to retract it, and they're I think all the ones I've got are too big to go in here anyway. If you have like a traditional sort of tailor's tape measure that you just roll up, it would probably fit in here, but I'm not going to use that for tape measure. So I took it out, but I've left it in here so I don't lose it. And I also left a label in here, so if anyone asks me what project number it is, because they're all called project something or other, I thought I'd have that in there. I'm thinking maybe I could fit my row counter in there. I'd still be worried about having that on the outside of my bag. Oh yeah, my row counter fits in there. So my little clover green catcher row counter fits in there. But I don't think I'm going to use this. So I've just popped it in one of the pockets. I used this in Norway from Christmas Eve onwards. It's perfect for my project. Now I bought, and I did share this on my last video, I bought this, which is Lang Pilets, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And I didn't finish my project that I was working on in Norway, but I nearly finished it and I ran out of yarn. I should have really talked about that first really, but I ran out of yarn and I had some extra balls of this yarn, but I ran out of the sequin yarn I'm knitting it with. So first I was trying to hold this and that together, and I wasn't that happy with the colours. So when we went to Fredrikstad in this yarn shop, I looked for a colour that would match better. So I got this, which is Filcolana, I think. Let me just find the label. So it is, no, that's the wrong label. It is Tilia, Tilia, Tilia from Filcolana, which is 70% kid mohair, 30% silk, 210 meters, 25 grams, in the colorway 324. And I thought that went really nicely with the sequin yarn. And I needed just a small project, so I had something to work on the last day and on the way home. I worked on this on the last day and on the way home, and I haven't touched it since I came home. And I don't know, my goal is to finish this before I go to Norway next time. One of my goals in 2025 was to really get my head around double knitting. Done it before, but not properly, and I wanted to learn it well enough so I could start teaching it. And I started a project, a headband, when I was in Norway last year, beginning of 2024, probably when I went in February. And I got so bored with it because it was just plain double knitting headband, nothing fancy. And I got so bored with it. I did probably about this much and I gave up. Anyway, I've decided to try again because I really like this color combination. So you can see the sparkly yarn and the mohair. And I need to see whether these edges will block out. The edges are a little bit loose. So I'll have to see, knit a bit more and then see how happy I am with the edges. But the edges are a little bit loose. But it's double knitting, so it looks the same. You have stocking stitch on both sides. But it is a bit boring to knit, and it's very, very slow because for each 2 rows, you only get 1 counted rows. So you basically work 1 row on this side, 1 row on the other side, and it looks like you've only done 1 row. So it is a little bit slow. I knitted quite a lot on it on the way home at the airport. I didn't knit on the plane. And by the time we got to the car, it was dark. And I tried to knit. I think I did 1.5 rows, and I put it down because it was just too difficult to knit on in the car. My plan is to knit a headband. So we'll see if I get around to finishing that or not. I'm actually, because I can get the Lang palettes, if you know how to pronounce it, tell me, from one of my wholesalers. So I've actually ordered some wholesale in that colour, plus a couple other colours, plus some Lang cashmere lace, cashmere extra lace I think it's called. It's a lace weight version. So they have one that's called cashmere lace, which is more of a 4-ply version. So I got the thinner one, plus some Lang mohair, which I've got on order. So I'm assuming they'll be here next week because I've got some projects in mind. I'd like to have a couple of small projects ready for Unravel in February. So my first show this year is in February at Unravel in Surrey, in Farnham in Surrey. And I'd like to design some small project using the cashmere and the sparkly, the sequin yarn. The sequin yarn is incredibly popular at the moment. I do find that my yarn sells much better if I actually have a pattern to go with it. So let's talk about what I was knitting in Norway. So before we went to Norway, I knitted this vest. I'm not going to put it on because I don't want to put it on my black top. Although it probably doesn't really matter now because it's evening anyway. But I really like this. It's mohair silk, but it does shed a little bit. So I decided I want to knit it in another colour. So I ordered Daima alpaca silk to get shipped to my parents' house because I didn't have room for it in my backpack. And then I took 4 cones of the Rico Design Creative Make It Blümchen sequin yarn, which I used for a recent design for Knitting Magazine. I think it's the last issue of Knitting Magazine. I think it's still the latest issue. For this little top where I held 2 strands together to knit this little top. I'd bought several cones of it earlier last year to knit it with Models Uruguay Marina to knit a sweater for myself, and I bought this light blue and then I changed my mind and actually did it in the lilac instead. So I had probably about 4, maybe more of these 6 cones that I hadn't used, and then when I got the yarn for this, I had some spare from that as well, so I had quite a few of these cones left. So I decided to hold 1 strand of the alpaca silk and 2 strands of that together, and that was enough. On this one I held 2 strands of the mohair silk together, and 2 strands of this and 1 strand of that was enough to give me the same tension. So that's what I've been doing, and I only brought 4 cones because when I packed them, I wasn't sure that I was going to use them. I thought if I don't, I'll just leave them in Norway. I didn't really have space to bring any more, but also I wasn't sure that I was going to hold 2 strands together or just 1 strand with the alpaca silk. So I brought 4 cones of it, thinking that would be enough, and I got so close. I was probably about that far off starting the rib on the last full day. No, not the last full day, the evening, for 2 evenings before we were due to leave. 48 hours before we were due to leave. I'm just trying to see where I got to, but I can't see where I've joined in the yarn. I didn't really have that much left. I was hoping if I could get it long enough, so I just had the rib left. Yeah, so I got it there. But that's how much I've been knitting since I joined in the new yarn. But I measured it and I thought it's a little bit too short, because I was thinking if I just had the ribbing to do and the rib around the armholes and the neckline, I could do that holding 2 strands of the alpaca silk together, be a slightly different colour because this is a bit lighter than the alpaca silk, so it'd be a slightly different colour for the ribs. But I thought if all the ribs match, that's fine, because I had quite a lot of this because I bought 8 balls not knowing whether I was going to hold it double or not. So, but I ran out of the sequin yarn, so I decided, because it wasn't quite long enough, but it was only like that much short of starting the rib, I thought I'll just put that on hold and finish it when I go home, because I knew I had loads of cones at home. So I carried on yesterday, I measured it earlier today, and I'm about to start a rib, and so I'm going to spend the evening working on the rib, I think. And I've decided, because I have more of this and I'm home now, I'm going to do the ribs in what I've done the rest of it in. So I'd hoped to finish this before I filmed today, but I didn't. So this is where I was last week. So that's the underarm, basically. That's where I was last time I filmed in Norway. So I've done all the way from there down to there. So I've done a ton since last week. So I'm going to take this marker out. So hopefully I can finish this weekend. It's Thursday today. I do have a deadline, so since we've been home yesterday evening, I did do a little bit of work, a couple hours probably, on a deadline design, because I have a deadline. I need to finish it in 2 weeks yesterday. And I started it before we went to Norway, but I didn't knit on it as much as I should have done. I'd hoped to be like up to the underarms on the back piece, and I wasn't. I'm probably halfway to the underarms. So it's a cardigan in 4-ply yarn, all stocking stitch. So it's fairly easy to knit, but it's 4-ply yarn, and I don't have a lot of time to do it. I have to finish it 2 weeks yesterday. It has to be in the post 2 weeks from yesterday. So I can't really spend a lot of time working on other things, but I'm going to try this weekend to finish this and work on this other project. because I'd like to finish this and work on the other project, but anything else will be left, and then I will need to focus on the other project till I finish it because of this deadline. I did have several projects that I left I abandoned when I went to Norway. I have a crochet sweater, I have a cyber sweater. Did I have another sweater? I can't remember, but I did have several projects that I hadn't finished before I went to Norway, and they're going to have to wait now till I finish my deadline project because that's more important. And then because I've ordered the cashmere and sequin yarn from Lang, I also then want to start working on a couple of designs in that. I really like to knit a cardigan. I've been wanting for a while I should knit a cardigan because I really like cardigans, but I don't really have any cardigans. And all the stuff I've knitted in the last couple of years or crocheted have all been sweaters. And I like to knit a cardigan. I saw somebody on Instagram, it was a Norwegian creator, I can't remember who it was, and she had done she had a cardigan. It had like an I-cord at the top here, and then it was just loose. I don't want to do an I-cord, I want a proper button band. But it was just like elbow length, and I really liked it. And I thought I would really like that. So I'm going to, probably with the cashmere lace that I get from Lang and the sequin yarn from Lang, going to do a short sleeved cardigan, which I'd like to do as soon as the yarn arrives, really. If I didn't have this deadline, I would cast on the day the yarn arrives, but I'm going to have to, till the yarn arrives, which I'm assuming will be sometime next week, I'm going to have to work flat out on this deadline design so I can get it finished and then cast on for this cardigan. I've decided to ignore my other projects for the time being because I want to do some stuff with this sequin yarn and the cashmere yarn. I also have a couple of accessories because neither of those yarns are particularly cheap, especially the cashmere is quite expensive because it's cashmere. So I really want to try and finish it. So I really want to work on some small designs for Unravel because I can see people maybe buying 1 or 2 spools of it for a small project, but I can't see that many people buying enough for a whole sweater. So I've got a few ideas for a couple of little accessories, and I just want to test it out at Unravel and see what it's like. Also coming up, I have I'm going away in 2 weeks for workshops at Black Sheep Wools in Warrington. They are fully booked. I do have some other workshops in March that are not fully booked yet, or at least they weren't last week when I looked at them. Brioche Improvers and another workshop, which I can't remember what is now, but I'll link it below and you can go and take a look. I'll put it on the screen as well. I've also got a Stitch Festival in March in London. I'm teaching several workshops there. Again, I can't remember what they are, but I'll link it below. It's always linked below anyway. That's in March as well in London. And then I also have workshops at Black Sheep Wools in April, but I think those are fully booked as well. So my workshops at Black Sheep Wools in March and in a Stitch Festival in March both have spaces. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit from Norway. I know it's not been a ton of knitting content in this video, but I've decided not to share all the other stuff that I worked on before Christmas because I haven't worked on it since I last talked about it on here. So that's why I thought I won't dig them all out. I might bring them all out next week because by next week I'll have finished that blue top and hopefully made some decent progress on my deadline project, and then I can get back to working on something else kind of occasionally in the evenings and stuff. So that's my plan, I think. But don't forget my 50% off my website. Do go and check that out and take advantage of that to get your knitting year or crochet year off to a bang. And check out my workshops at Black Sheep Wools in Warrington in Cheshire and Stitch Festival in London in March. And don't forget, I'll be at Unravel in Farnham in Surrey in February. And then after Unravel, I have 2 days at home, then I go back to Norway. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the 50% off. Check out the details below. If you haven't watched my last 2 Game of Wool videos, do go and check those out as well. And if there's anything you'd like me to talk about on the channel in the coming months or in tutorials you'd like, do leave your suggestions below. I'm planning to next week make a kind of a filming plan because I have quite a long list of videos I'd like to film. I'd also like to go through some of my older tutorials and redo them so they're a bit better quality. So if there's anything you'd like me to see, I'd like to spend quite a bit of time this month and probably beginning of February to film a bunch of videos for the next few months, tutorials and like general talking about knitting things type videos. Basically my Tuesday videos. There won't be any more Game of Wool videos for the time being because the series is over. So if you don't like Game of Wool videos, you're safe here now. But I will be back next week. I have a video already scheduled to come out on Tuesday next week. Plus there'll be my podcast on Friday next week. So don't forget to come back for that. And make sure if you haven't already, do sign up to my newsletter. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry the lighting is so bad, but it's just I left it too late today to film. But I want to film today because it's going to be out all day tomorrow. So I hope that's okay. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I will see you next time.